Okay guys, so I've had a really good fun day with Clayton and we appreciate his time. So just to finish off, we want to do a wee Q&A with him. And normally when it gets to this stage, everybody starts getting nervous in here and thinking, oh, you want to ask a question? So Clayton, we're going to do a quick wee fun. 10 questions. You just have to answer with one word. So number 1, dogs or cats?
Cats. I'm walking my father-in-law's dog at the moment.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Custard creams or bourbons?
Custard cream.
Ulster fry or full English breakfast?
I only know one. Try the Ulster. Ulster one would be good, wouldn't it? I always do a good fry up when we're over here.
Eat all the bread.
As I don't like the English, I'll go Ulster fry.
Bath or shower?
Bath.
Weirdo.
Ice bath. Yeah, get used to them, they're good for you. They're really good.
Hot tub and bench arms is coming
I stopped playing in 2000 and somebody asked me to go and play a couple of games in Wales, and I played in the Welsh League then for about 6-7 years, and I did a pre-season with Big Sam. I played with Sam in his last my last season was with Notts County with Sam Allardyce, and he was into all the new fitness stuff and all that. And I did a pre-season with Bolton, and it was the easiest pre-season I've ever done in my life. Honestly, God, it was unbelievable. But because I'd done the work, just because you're out there running and training every day, I was fitter than I was the year before, and I had a good start of the season. And what I didn't know, in one of the games I got a knock in the back of my hamstring, and it had bruised a bit, and I didn't feel it in the game. Go home, hot bath, bump, my knees like that. They just swole up because I didn't know I'd had an injury, and that's why you have to have the ice baths. Just stop the bleeding.
Brilliant. Favourite superhero?
Favourite superhero? Batman.
I'd go with Wonder Woman.
I quite like them all. I was going to say the Hulk at one stage, yeah.
Manchester City or Liverpool?
City.
David Moyes or Louis van Gaal?
Give me a choice. Moyes.
As a pundit, Michael Owen or Danny Wills?
Owen. Either or. Only because I like Mike.
And last one, describe yourself in 3 words.
Very laid back.
Well done, big round of applause. So we're going open floor now. Anybody's got any questions, pop your hand up and I'll pass you the mic.
What was the most noticeable thing you had to change from a normal life going into a professional footballer's life?
What did I have to change? No, I didn't really have to change much. I mean, I think when you're younger, I played a lot of football, and so you give up going out with your mates and all that a lot, and especially when you get to 16, 17, when it's very serious, and when you're at a club. I mean, it's different now. Kids are at the club from a 10-year-old. I mean, I first moved up to United when I was 16. So, and it was still going out, but you have to not party as much as you should do. But to be fair, at the time, people seemed to be partying. It never really, I think you just go with it, I didn't really change anything from what I was doing before. Good question.
Not yet. Never to make a
It's too clever, that one.
Any regrets, football-wise?
Well, I mean, the other thing, but I was always very versatile, and at times, people seem to think, when you come in sub for Brian Robson, when he's fit, you're going to be coming out. So, I mean, I could have gone to other clubs, and I decided to stay at United and fight for a place there. And looking back, I think I made the right decision. I don't know where it would have gone with another club. Maybe I'd have done better at another club, being one of the top players. It's weird how you get, as a kid coming through the club, it's very difficult, especially if you don't go bump like a Whiteside or a Bestie, somebody who's like a bit special. I mean, I was good, but I wasn't special. You've got people, Ryan Giggs, special. People who are like, for me, who can beat 2 or 3 players and, win your game like that anytime. They're the special players. And like Ronaldo, he comes under that one. But, a tricky one. Well, that question was
What was your lowest point?
I think lowest point is always when you're injured. When you get injured, I mean, everybody thinks, my father-in-law now knows everything about the game, and he knows everything, and he's like, if somebody's out, they think, he shouldn't be getting paid as much. He's injured, he's got a contract. And it's that nobody wants to be in, he thinks he wants to be injured, he's not, he's cheating the club. And it's not, you want to be out playing, for me it's more of the lonely time as well, and you're down in a gym doing stuff you don't want to be doing, you'd rather be out with the lads playing football.
Yeah, you don't have that regular camaraderie maybe.
Yeah, well you don't, because you're not, all the boys are going out chatting, they're going out to train, and then you're going off down there in a gym to do some work to get you, build your legs up.
How to get through that kind of period?
You just got to do that, I think once you've done it once, you realise, and it's the same with whenever you're starting, it's like a midfielder, if you've not scored a goal from midfield as a kid, the big thing is when you got to, how do you get a goal? They don't know, because you don't put yourself in that position. Just talking about middle midfielders, kids don't make those runs in behind strikers. I mean, I watch Man United, and we've got a lot of them that don't make that run now. And they're fully professional players, and we've actually got a kid at the place who does make really good runs, and he's like the only one. But you have to make runs forward. If you don't get forward, you're never going to score.
Like Aaron Ramsey, those late runs.
Yeah, he makes great runs. And I think he's been out a lot this year from Arsenal. I don't think he's as fit or as good as he was then last year. And when he's playing for Wales now, he's not really playing as well as he usually does.
Ronaldo or Messi?
Ronnie. He's 6'2". He's good in the air. Well, he's not good in the air. He's one of the best in the air. And don't get me wrong. I like Messi. I love watching him. When somebody's that good, for me, it's between him and Maradona then for second best. I think with Maradona, he used to get leathered. Everybody was trying to boot him.
And you forgot about George Best,
Yeah. I know, George.
How did it affect you then, going from an average club like United to a big club like Middlesbrough? Whenever you transferred to Middlesbrough?
It could have been worse. I nearly went to Liverpool, which would have been lower.
No, but how did that affect? Only if you're in one of the biggest clubs in the world, to then sort of, as essentially.
I tell you, it was a weird thing. Like, we've been waiting that many years, and I've been at the club for a long time, and I picked up a couple of hernia operations that year, and then there was a lot of talk of Robbo leaving. Obviously, we just won the Premier League. This year we won the double. But I've been out for most of the season with 2 hernia operations, and it started to feel like it was time to leave. Like I'd done my thing, and looking back, I wish I hadn't have gone. If you'd have asked me now again, that's probably the biggest one. When I said I'll leave, I should have got myself fit and got back in the team again. But I was doing that for the last 14, 15 years. I then miss out on the next, they go and win league after league after league and cup. And that was probably my biggest regret, maybe leaving. Even though, like I said, we won the league the first year at Middlesbrough, a couple of cup finals, and they probably had their best run ever, Middlesbrough, under Robbo. And he was a very good manager. The first year when we won the league, I thought he was as good as he could be. He could have been the best manager I've played under. But he needed Viv didn't really help him much as a number 2. I remember the first year when we were like top of the league, halfway through the season, we were commuting back to Manchester, And we were talking about if we go up to the Premiership, who's good enough at Middlesbrough. And we went, there was 3 or 4 players at the back we thought weren't good enough. So all 3 of us agreed on it. And 5 years later they were all still playing. So they were going down, coming back up, going down, coming back up. They didn't listen to their own advice.
What did you do straight after you stopped playing, and did you find it hard to adapt and not playing anymore?
It's weird because I left Middlesbrough on my own accord because he wasn't playing us, and I just thought, because every time he talked to me, he goes, "Yeah, that's the best I've seen you play." And I'm like, "Oh, why not playing me?" And it was a bit weird because I've been with Rob when I was 16 years, but I just thought, I need to get out. I need to go and start playing. I'm not playing enough. And I went to Barnsley. I swear within a year and a half, it was a backstabbing. The manager there was John Hendry. He actually played with me at Middlesbrough. And his number 2, Eric Winstanley, I think he'd been at the club 30 years, he was killing him to the directors, and he just signed a 2-year contract. Then he's given him that last part of the season, saying the players won't play for him. And then they sacked him. Sacked John Henry, gave him a 2-year contract, and then sacked him a month later. I was like, wow. But he was actually going, like we're doing a training session there, if I was the manager, my number 2 would be going, "No, you're wrong, you can't," and he's going above John. He's saying John's getting it wrong, like the manager. It's like if I was assistant manager to Fergie saying, "No, you're wrong there, Gaffer." And you can imagine it, he'd just knock you out. I'm like, wow. And it happened then again when I was at Notts County. We got to the top of the league with Big Sam, because they nearly went down on goal difference. He was, but I've gone down now another league. Because when I was just about to sign another contract with John, and he gets sacked, Bassett comes in, and he says, "I don't need you, I'm going to bring Jeff Thomas from Crystal Palace." So, because I was on a good wage at the time then as well. So I remember I was in Marbella. I was in Marbella when I got the call, "Don't need it." I'm like, "Right, got to find a team now." I ended up down another league, not the Championship, the first division with Notts County, which was good. It was a good club, I really enjoyed it there, but again, when Sam left around, I think it was at the end of October, we were top of the league, and he's seen his chance, got to get out. The chairman's, it's a small club, and we're talking about money. There's not a lot of money there. He's going around switching lights off, but that's the way it is. He's doing well to put that money into the club because he's probably not getting nothing out of it. The chairman, and he's gone up to Bolton, and then the lads come in. His number 2 took over, guy Brazil. He then brings in, what's his name now? He's just gone to. He was at Wigan with Martinez, and he just came in and tried to get me out. He's like, you could tell, he thought I could take over as the manager at the end of the season, and I wasn't even thinking that way. But that's the way it went. Graham Barrows. Was it Graham Barrow? He was at Chester, it just gave me the whole thing the way everybody was working behind the scenes, stabbing each other in the back, and I just walked away from football. And I've gone from the Premiership within a year and a half. I'm now playing golf.
So how do you switch off, when you were playing football, how did you switch off, onto something else to relax? Or?
Yeah. In fact, it's like, they're talking about Rooney now finishing. He's doing it right. You've got to keep playing until your time's up, because it's, your legs will tell you. He's had a lot of stick, Rooney, over the last 4 years, but he's been playing in midfield and he's lost a bit. He's still the same player, but we don't play him in the right places. The last 2 years he's been playing up on his own, and it's not easy as playing striker on your own with two centre halves. And if he retires now, he'll regret it. It's going to be a massive regret.
So what are your outlets then apart from football?
What do I do now? I still work with the club. United's so big. We still do a lot of work.
Sports?
Yeah, like I said, I went in and played. I got down to scratch within about 3 months playing golf, but I was off 5 at the time. So, but I just didn't. I really lost interest with it. I walked away from it. Then I did a bit of coaching with the schoolboys under 16s. is it the Victory Shield? I had a couple of years doing that, and then I actually, because I was training with the kids again, I started missing it a bit, and then somebody asked me to play a few games in Wales. But the good thing with that, I could travel on. A lot of the games are down South Wales. My mum and dad still live down there, so I'd travel down on a Thursday and spend 4 or 5 days down there with my old friends and that, which I hadn't been able to do for 30 years, 20 years.
What was going through your head, or what were your emotions when you get your first cap for your country?
Our first cap, we were actually in, I was in Montego Bay, and Mark Hughes had just left us. We played Jamaica, and Martin Edwards came up to me and says, "Oh, you've been called up for the Welsh team." So I'm like, "Oh, right, well." I've stayed out there a couple more days with a few of the other lads. So then I fly home, go just meet up with the lads, and then fly to Norway. But no, it's a great honour. I remember I've still got a kit. I had a yellow. We were wearing a yellow kit, and I had the number 13.
Yeah, that sticks
It
in your
was,
mind.
it's not. Yeah, it wasn't unlucky for me. We lost. We were losing. I think we were losing 3-0 at half time.
Did
I
you
wasn't
play any
playing.
international?
I came off.
Did you play any international games against Scotland, England, or Northern Ireland? Sorry. How were they?
I think that's another one big regret. I never got to play against England. I played against them as a kid. We played at Wembley when I was 14, and we drew 1-1. But they were, the old referees from England. He was never going to allow Mark Hughes to score a top corner goal from outside the box for us to win 2-1. But we played them a bit later that year it was a big tournament. Funny I should be talking about that, because Northern Ireland actually won it. Big Norman scored the winner in it against us. I think we knocked Holland, England and Luxembourg out. We beat England. I think it was the first time we beat England ever. We beat them 2-0.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think Norm spoiled it all though.
Coming from a Scotsman, that's sweet, mate.
I also,
He got a good goal at when I went to United. We played the youth team. You had who was playing midfield then? Who was a lad at Celtic? Oh, he's a good player.
When are we talking about?
I was young. What's his name now? But we played at Ibrox.
Paul McStay.
Yeah, that's it. Paul McStay. Yeah, I was playing against Paul, but I put a 30-yarder in against Scotland at Ibrox.
Clayton invited this guy up, did out Charles, but his wife obviously doesn't allow him, so he's enjoying this one-on-one time out with you. But for the rest of us, it's allowed out. We can continue up there for a couple of drinks. But any other questions? Are we all good?
I got one. What was your favourite moment as a professional?
Like I say, it's all about winning trophies, and the biggest one we won was the Companies Cup. I was talking the other day, like I said, we had a chat with Lee Sharp and Ron Atkinson, and I mentioned Sharpie, all those, you asked Brian Robson, Mark Hughes, they'll all say the same day, Barcelona, winning the Companies Cup. I think it was a bit special as well, because we were the first team back in Europe, after 5 years of being out of Europe. Yeah, I think, like you say, it's winning stuff.
Okay, well here, superstar. I think we need to do a cool down over the down showers.
Cool down. Ice bath.
But definitely, I think it's an absolute pleasure because, as I said earlier on, I remember being young, 11, watching the TV, so it's surreal to have you here at our club. We're very, very excited because it's something that we want to give these boys an opportunity. I mean, this season, just over the biggest Alcaraz, who's now managing La Liga. Kind of going through some hard times at the moment, And obviously, somebody like yourself, Clayton, that's been an absolute champion in Europe and stuff, and playing at the highest level. So it's been a pleasure. And we also send our apologies to Mrs. Blackmore that you're away from your family on Mother's Day. But we also have our captain, club captain Spencer, is going to come up and give a wee presentation and say a few words.
behalf of TW Braga, I'd like to thank you for coming over and sharing your football knowledge with us.
Well done, Spencer.
Well done. Yeah, let's get a picture, guys. Yay.
Taking new sticks, Spence. Well done. That's good. And Javier, do you want to come forward, our
yeah.
presentation?
Well, this will be to you, Clayton, as well, and to the Braga boys, to Tim, and to the staff. We just want to thank you guys on a part of EST back home, Elite. Thank you for having us here, taking care of our boys, and having us for a second year. And thank you for sharing your soccer knowledge with us and all the Q&As.
Okay, let's show our appreciation to Clayton. And also their fabulous hosts in the back corner there, Orange Widow Boys and Craig Sports Club. Thank you. Thanks for everybody for coming to support the event. Have a good day. Let's go back home and treat our mummies. Yeah, well done.